Hello everyone, welcome back to another BrickSide Chat. This is number 6. We got a few questions today. First of all, obviously I'm not in the BrickLink warehouse, as we call it, but more on that in a video coming out tomorrow. First question is from Martin Mills. How do you price your parts? Do you use the 6-month average? Yes, super simple answer. We just use the six-month average. That's how all of our prices are set, and then from there, we may put them on sale or adjust them if we need the prices adjusted from that. Nicholas asked, what are your thoughts on the acquisition of BrickLink by Lego? Positive and negative. That's a hard one. You know, it could be positive potentially because set inventories could be uploaded significantly quicker and stuff. It could also be a negative because they could, you know, regulate what is sold. It could potentially regulate the prices in the future. At the moment, they say they're not going to do any of that, so that's what we can hope, but we will see. Next question is from JH. Do you regularly look for parts on the Pick a Brick wall to add to your store? If so, how often do you check? What parts do you get? And what parts do you avoid? And he says, as a mock builder and a small BrickLink seller, I usually get pieces on the Pick a Brick and then upload the excess to my store. I luckily live close to 3 Lego stores in SoCal, so I try to visit them every other week. Most likely, you live next to the same 3 I do, which is Disney, South Coast Plaza, and then there's one... where's the other one? I don't remember, but those are probably the 3 I think you're talking about. I don't specifically look on the Pick a Brick wall. If there's pieces, you know, if we're going to the Lego store or something, or I'm in downtown Disney or wherever it is, you know, I'll go and check. And usually with Pick a Brick, there are certain pieces that like just pay off, and you just kind of know, and you're like, oh, okay, it's a 2x2 light bluish gray plate or a tile, and you're like, okay, those are for sure gonna sell. So you'll get some of those and stuff, but it doesn't, I don't specifically go look for Pick a Brick pieces, but if I'm near a Lego store, there's really no hurt in doing it. The only pieces I personally try to avoid are like, I don't want to fill up a whole cup of studs, you know, the 1x1 round plates. Those are useless. Now, if you have extra room, you can always put them in, but those take up a drawer and they don't sell usually unless they're in some special color. And then I also try to avoid really large pieces because you can't get a ton of them per cup. But there's usually not a ton of ways to go wrong on the Pick a Brick wall. You can usually fill up a cup and get your money's worth when you do upload it to BrickLink. Next question is from Leaf Hunter. Says, when you have 2 different parts in the same drawer and one of the parts sells out, so he's talking about when we put the divider in and we have 2 separate pieces in there, when one of them sells out, how do you remind yourself to empty the other half? So usually every day when we're packing orders, if we have, let's say, 4 drawers that end up being used, what we do is just set them aside until the end of the day. If there's like 1 or 2 or 3, we'll just leave them there until the next day, or you know, a few days until there's like maybe 4 to 6 to 8 of them. And then after there's a few, what we'll do is we'll take the 2 to 3 minutes to consolidate those together. And now we take the divider out and we have an extra drawer to use. But we just set them aside on the table. Right now, there's no special way to really sort them. And then, you know, just seeing them every day, we were reminded to consolidate those later. Aussie Pushers asks, why don't people part out UCS sets? And for those of you who are wondering, because I know I was not that long ago, UCS is Ultimate Collector's Series, or Ultimate Collector's, yeah, I believe it's Ultimate Collector's Series. Reason being we don't part them out is usually because the price per set, if it's an Ultimate Collector's set, is higher than, you know, normally would be if it was just a regular set. Generally, the pieces inside the set are not super special. There might be a few, but there's the Yoda out right now doesn't part out for a crazy price in terms of you know, its normal sale price. So if it was cheaper and it was on sale, there's no reason we wouldn't part it out. But most of the time they don't go on sale, the Ultimate Collector's sets, just because, you know, they're special and they don't make a ton of them and stuff. So, you know, if you were to not part it out though, and you were to, you know, pick it up and save it, potentially in a few years that could be a lot better. But to part those out usually just isn't worth it. It's truly the honest reason. There's no other reason behind it, at least in our store. AKA Turbo7 asks, do you part out a lot at Technic Sets or stick to more traditional Lego sets? Is there a good market for Technic pieces? As far as we know, and as far as we've done kind of our research, Technic is not the best selling Lego. Not a ton of people build with Technic. It's more traditional bricks, so we definitely aim towards kind of the traditional pieces there. Doesn't mean that there's not Technic parts in some other sets, but generally we don't go for entirely Technic-based sets. Also asked, when buying sets to part out, do you only buy sets when they're on sale, or do you pay full Lego retail prices? I've kind of answered this in the past. If it's on sale, you know, as long as the part out value is good, we'll almost always get it if it's on sale. If the part out value is really good, we may pay retail, but we've only done that for one set. So the likelihood of us paying full retail, not super high. And then also other minimum sets to purchase part out. We have a minimum of 8. That's our absolute minimum. We try for 12 plus, but the absolute minimum before we part out sets are 8, unless we can only get like we only got 6 of the train promos. And then I built one. So technically there's 5 train promos now. So we're not going to like hold on to those and not do anything with them. We'll probably part those out because they part out for like 50 something bucks right now. Or we may save a few of those, and in the future, in 2 or 3 years, they might sell for a significant amount more. We just need to look into whether or not that is a potential that they'll increase in price. Next question is from B Flex. My videos determined. Oh, so the videos that he's been watching determined him to open up a BrickLink store, which is awesome. You know, it's kind of what the goal is here a little bit. He said he has over 40 kilograms of Lego, and he asked, what is the standard to sell used Lego? So the hardest thing about used Lego is you have to take each piece and find out what it is. You also want to clean the used Lego. So I have a new video coming out in the next, I think it's scheduled for a week or so, that I'm going to be working on. That'll be show you how to clean used Lego and how to list it on BrickLink. But there's not necessarily a standard. You just have to figure out how you want to price it, you know, and how many pieces you have and stuff, and then the best way for you to sort them. But it's very similar to the, you know, parting out a new set and the way you store and sell everything. The difference is obviously they're used pieces, and you have a bigger container of them without, you know, knowing you have supposed to have 12 of these or 6 of these. So there's no standard for selling used Lego necessarily, but I will have a video coming out soon on that. Bianca Joanna Ramirez asked, how are you able to buy a lot of sets on Walmart.com if they have a limit of 2? The answer to that is very simple. You just place a few orders. So if we want 12 of these sets, we're going to place 6 orders of 2. So for whatever reason, they have a limit in terms of a single order, how many you can purchase. But if you purchase 6 orders, they don't care. Scott Hinkle asks, how are you finding sets so cheap? And this is, he was watching my the How to Track Income and Expenses set, and he realized that back in December, I got a Yoda's Hut set, which normally costs $30, and we got it for $14. He asked, how or when do you find this stuff? And do you buy in person or online? Just depends, in person or online. Usually in person is going to get you a much better deal. And that's the reason we were able to get those for $14, because it was considered the Black Friday sale still at Kohl's, because that was in early December. So I went in and they were still having their kind of Black Friday whatever sale. So it ended up only being $14 as opposed to the normal $30. But again, that was a very special occasion due to it being kind of Black Friday time and stuff. So it's definitely hard to get the sales like that. But usually in person, the prices are going to be significantly better than online. But, you know, when you can't go in person like now, we have to do all our shopping online. And that is about the last question. We had another question by someone else who said, why don't people part out the UCS sets? But again, you know, same answer to that one. That's pretty much all I got. I'll have a video coming out tomorrow explaining why I'm right now not in the BrickLink warehouse with the pieces behind me. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't yet subscribed, go ahead and think about doing so. If you liked this video, click the thumbs up to let me know I'm doing something all right. Other than that, thanks and have a good one.